They are, I think, 2 birds chirping. Not at my window per se, but they probably are in my backyard. And it's been such a long time since I've been able to enjoy birds chirping. And honestly, I don't know if you're hearing it, because I also have the fan on, because I kind of want to keep the cold vibe. Anyways.
And I guess take my time getting dressed and brushing my teeth. I need to go do some writing for some papers before I go.
Hopefully you will be able to hear me all the way from there. I am gonna look very hazy because of how bright it is right now. I'm gonna try to like hide it a little bit with my head. Welcome to a attempt to do like a cozy writing blog. It is almost 11 a.m. It is still under it's 79 degrees Fahrenheit right now, and that is awesome. I do have the fan on so I can keep the room at a lower temperature, so I can keep being slightly cold, so when I finish my coffee and get like a tea, I am not sweating. So what I'm gonna do, I am working on a Sally book. This is one of the collabs that she's participating throughout this year. I have it printed. You guys probably have seen that I usually print them to read them and kind of like make notes in it. And after I finish writing it, I don't remember when I finished it, I knew that I needed to add a few things to make it more fake dating. It didn't have enough fake dating in it. So I made notes of that, and I am getting to the part that I need to write new stuff, and after the new stuff, and then I have to like add a few things to make everything else cohesive with the new stuff, and then I can go and do more of the dreaded copyline edit. Surprisingly, for what I can tell and from what pro writing it can tell, I am doing somewhat decent with verb tenses, because I didn't have that many verb tenses to change. So that is great, but I still do need to finish doing the copy line, hear the actual book, and see if I can catch something else. Don't know if I will have time to ask a friend to read it and see if they can spot any other problems, because ideally I would like to upload this weekend. I mean, I could push it to next week. Actually, the deadline is next week, but I would like to do it prior, because you never know with KDB. And yes, the more you upload, the more you publish, the easier it gets, because you know what to expect, and they kind of like know that you're kind of like mostly good to go because you've been doing it for a while. But I just I just want to be on the safe side. Yeah. And this is just not my own book. This is attached to other people's books. So I want to respect that for them. So I'm gonna keep on keeping on and having a blog on the computer, on the laptop, and then working on the document on my big monitor. So yeah, join me through today, which is the 21st of January. Jeez. Yeah. See you on the next clip. Actually, I want to talk about something. And I am gonna use Medea's story, The Vampire and Her Vampire Hunter, because the first four episodes, chapters, are free on Coffee and Patreon. So showing you this is not just, it's not something that you can already freely read. So I those are things that I cannot do with Sally's projects, because those, they're on their pen name that I don't share, and also they are, you need to buy them to read them. And I think this is a thing that I'm gonna try to do a little more often, because there's a lot of talk in the writing community about how to write, how to get ideas, how to plot, how to outline, how to write, how to keep the writing, energy and vibe and momentum going. There's a lot of challenges. I even have my own series that gets you from the idea all the way to a long outline, or a save the cat beat sheet kind of outline. But not a lot of people talk about revisions, and I'm not talking about editing, copy line edit. I'm talking about revising your first draft or your zero draft and developing the story. So this is just an example of what I do, and I am using this book because it's the one that I have in hand. So I do sort of a little bit of copy line edit, very little, because that's not my focus. Usually what I point out is what's bland, it's very much in my face. And I do apologize for the noise. It's very windy right now and it's raining, so you're competing with that. I mean, you're competing so much that I don't think you're hearing my fan. So what you're mostly hearing is the wind and the rain. Great. Obvious. So for example, if we take the first page, I have the first thing is this is an awkward sentence, is a little too long, rephrase this. I kind of scribble over words that are unnecessary. But then towards the end, I have a note. It's more of a continuity thing, because it doesn't make sense as I go through this chapter. And then at the end of the chapter, I write all the things that I think I should fix story-wise. So, for example, the notes that I have here are more character work. It's I need to amp up Marina's devastation for the loss of her soulmate, even though over 200 years have passed of that. There are some notes about timeline, and I personally have a lot of problem with timelines, and it is what it is. And then, for example, I have a note here that says this needs work, and when I read the bracket that I have it, it's more like I am like flying through things that I should develop more. And I actually, towards the end, again, I do have right towards the end, and there's notes about voice, which is something that you can start working as you develop the story, because you're developing the characters more, so their voice becomes more distinctive to you. You can also hone that in copyright edits, but I think it's something that you might want to start approaching in any of the rounds that you're going to do developmental edits, because as you develop the character, you develop the voice. See, there is a note here that requires me to add more things, have more depth to the world, have more depth to the characters. So that's what most of my revisions, this is what I call revisions. When I am working on the story per se, there's a lot of writing. When I'm working on the story per se, that is what I call revisions. They're mostly developmental edits. When I say that I am revising, very rarely I am actually just copy editing. But yeah, that's kind of like, that's my first step. I read through what I wrote and I make notes. Most of the notes are about the story, about the characters, where I should add more, where I should cut, things like that. Sorry, I got to put my hair up because that little rain just spiked up the humidity and now I'm hot. So yeah, that's kind of like the first part of my revision process. That's how I approach developing my draft into what will eventually be the book that readers read. And the reason I kind of like pointing that out and like showing myself, like showing how I write on it, and I'm gonna like very quickly flash, like I do that for like my Sally's stories. I print them because they're short stories, like it's easier to print, even though I have the full length of the holiday romance printed. I print it and then I do the same thing, and that's how I know if I need to add scenes, if they're missing things, if I glaze over something. I was kind of thinking, if I stay too long yapping and blabbering about something that really doesn't bring anything to the story, that I can cut. So this is the phase that I am molding the story. It's very little about like fixing grammar or the flow of the sentence. If it's too in my face, I will, but it's not my priority at all. That is something that I wait until the story is solid. I don't have anything else that I want to change in the story and my character's journey, then I can look at the text. So yeah, we're now that I show you that, I'm gonna go ahead and get to write the scene that I need to add for that short romance that is releasing in 2 weeks. I'm cutting it short, friends. I'm cutting it short.